Hey everyone, Beardo speaking, and you are watching MINUTIA Minute, and it is time for more Wednesday comics. I've actually only got 4 new books this week, and none of them really blew me away, so it was a little bit of a disappointing week for me. Usually this is a huge week, because this would be Saga coming out, and if nothing else, Saga is just going to be amazing. But since we have a 5 Wednesday month this May, the release dates on books are totally screwed up, and so I get in the routine of what books I'm getting when, and so I kind of look forward to those books, and I think that might be part of the reason why maybe I was just a little disappointed this week, because I didn't get Batwoman this week, I didn't get Saga this week, and then I ended up getting other books that shouldn't come out until next week or the week after, and anyway, it's all screwed up. Before I get to those 4 books, I do have a couple of other issues I want to review for you guys really quick. First of all, I did get Dial H for Hero on Free Comic Book Day. If you watch my Free Comic Book Day review, you'll saw that I got that. And I had a couple reviews for me to, a couple requests for me to review it. I actually don't have a whole lot to say about Dial H. I really enjoyed the artwork, and I mean, since it's been out for a few days now, I'm gonna go ahead and open her up for you guys. But really creepy artwork. The character, the Boyd Chimney guy, really creepy. I dig the smokestack hat. That's a nice little twist. And I especially liked this particular layout where he's standing up and his hat just kind of goes on into infinity past all the other panels. I liked that. Art-wise, this book was fantastic. Writing-wise, it was also really good. However, I don't know. I haven't quite decided on the book, to be honest with you. I like the concept, and I have to say I've never read a Dial H for Hero book, so I don't know sort of how far removed this is from that. I'd be curious to find out, and for those of you guys who know, please tell me. I would like to know a little bit more about the old Dial H series. I haven't really had the opportunity to dig too far deep into it. But the thing about the main character is that he's kind of a smarmy guy, which is fine. But I couldn't really get into his character. I felt like the writer on this was sort of trying too hard to make him complex, and so he's got a lot of personal stuff going on, but it's sort of to the point where I didn't really relate to him. So I don't know, maybe that was just me. It's something I've noticed that kind of tends to happen when you have sort of novelists try writing comic books, which is the person who wrote this is a novelist. I know, I've never read their work. But they're sort of trying to bring a novel sensibility to something that is, a visual medium. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And in this one, verdict's out. I think it did basically work. Just the main character for me just was sort of annoying, a little bit creepy, and completely unrelatable. So there's that. I'm definitely going to pick up the next issue just to kind of see where it goes. I really liked the superhero designs, and I really liked... I like the idea of seeing sort of what's going to be new next month when there's another kind of an iteration of Dial H, and I think that it kind of is going to be cool the way Resurrection Man is cool, where he has a different power kind of every time. I dig Resurrection Man, even though I'm not actually picking it up. I might pick that one up in trades, but I did like Resurrection Man, and I do like the concept for Dial H, so I'll definitely pick it up a little bit more. But again, verdict's still kind of out, and I'm curious to see if this is going to be kind of like a character of the week kind of a thing, where we get different main characters, or if it's really going to follow just the one guy. And part of that's because, I don't know, maybe this is sort of the regular Dial H for Hero character, and I just don't know because I haven't read the old comics. So if you can elucidate me, that would be fantastic. All in all, I didn't like it as much as the other second wave book I picked up, Earth 2, but I did enjoy it, so it was a good start. We'll see where it goes. Alright, Also, today I just picked up this issue of The Shadow. This is The Shadow issue 1. It came out actually in April, but Shadow number 2 isn't out yet, and I did want to pick this up just to kind of see what it was like. Garth Ennis is the writer on this one, and I really enjoyed the Spider, I think it was last week or the week before, and so I kind of wanted to give The Shadow a try. They're both by Dynamite, both sort of a similar concept, and it was interesting. I did enjoy it. This is another one where I think that one of the things I liked about the Spider was they were sort of taking the no cape superhero, to borrow a term from Oddfellow's thoughts, and they sort of put it in a modern setting, and I kind of liked that about the Spider, whereas the Shadow is still deeply rooted in sort of the 1940s. In this book, the Shadow is facing off with Japanese terrorists, basically, in the United States, and kind of the whole fallout with that, and there's something deeper going on. There's allusions to the Shadow's background in the East. So, I mean, it was an interesting book, and I think it's an interesting counterpoint to the Spider. I think it's kind of neat that they're sort of the Spider, who is sort of a rip-off character of the Shadow, has been updated and brought into a new sort of world, into the 21st century, and the Shadow they're sort of keeping in his dark roots in the 1940s to kind of give each book their own unique character. I think that's really smart. However, you know, the thing I really liked about the Spider was sort of the modern take on it, so I'm not quite sure. I think I am going to pick up issue 2 on this one as well. I did really enjoy it. I really like the artwork in it, and I do recommend it. So if The Shadow is something that interests you, check it out. Alright, now this book actually did come out this week, but I didn't include it in the 4 books that I got because it is actually more or less a reprint, and it is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Color Classics IDW number 1, and it is basically the original Turtles number 1. However, it's been recolored. I don't know if... I know they've recolored those books before, and I don't know if this is a reprint of an old coloring or if this is a brand new coloring. However, I'm going to open this up and show you guys. It really is a beautiful book, and it's one of those where I hope this isn't a one-off. I think this is going to be an ongoing where they continue to color some of the other books, and I hope, look at that, that's beautiful. And I really do hope that they do, because I would continue to pick this up. I don't have the old Turtles comics in really any form, and I just don't have $50 to shell out on their sort of big, humongous, hardcover that they recently put out. I'd love to, I just don't have that kind of money right now. And this is kind of a fun alternative. You know, you get kind of a slightly different take because you do get to add the color. I was a little torn when I saw this on the shelf and saw that it was in color because, it's kind of like colorizing a movie. Even though I don't know if they would have chosen to color it if they could back in 1984 if it was sort of a monetary problem, but I mean, there's a visceral quality to the black and white Turtles books that I really enjoy, and so the fact that they were colorizing it, I was kind of a little iffy on it. However, I had heard positive things from previous colorings, and so I figured I'd give it a shot, and I actually really liked it. I thought it was a good counterpoint. I think I still want to get black and white versions of these books. Here's a great 2-page splash for you. But I will definitely continue to pick this up if they continue to release the series. Hopefully they go through the whole Mirage series. I think that would be a blast. But anyway, there's not a whole lot to say about this because, I mean, this title is, 20 years old or so now at this point? More than that, 25, 26 years old? No, it's 28 years old. Holy smokes. So anyway, long story short, there's not a whole lot to say about the story. However, if you haven't read this book, go out and pick it up because this really, in my opinion, is one of the best number ones of any set of books that are out there. honestly, I mean, the only one that even, in my opinion, like, in terms of like a great number one that you can buy, I mean, Batman number one is really up there, because I mean, that had, you know, the first appearance of the Joker. I think it had the first appearance of Catwoman as well, so I mean, you know, there's a lot in that book. In the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you get Shredder, Splinter, and all of the turtles, obviously. You set up the Foot Clan. You get absolutely everything, and you get a full self-contained story. This goes from, you know, Splinter telling the turtles about their past, and, you know, Hamato Yoshi and all that stuff, and it goes all the way up through their first face-off with the Shredder, in which it's a brutal, no-holds-barred fight. So, I mean, fabulous art, great self-contained story. I mean, it's no accident that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you know, gained such an early cult following just based on this first issue. And I think a lot of sort of independent creators that are trying to get their work noticed could really take a page from Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird on sort of how to introduce your characters to a wide audience and give them, you know, a full self-contained story to enjoy and sort of hunger for more, as opposed to just kind of give them a first issue that's really just a big teaser for the good stuff that they have to offer you. You know, I mean, when you're an independent creator, you really have to deliver the goods right away in order to get people to really remember you. So Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird definitely did that with issue 1 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and continue to do so with their Color Classics reprints. So anyway, that is all the sort of back titles I picked up. On to the main event, books that came out on May 9th, 2012. As usual, I have ordered them from least favorite to most favorite, and I'm excited to share with you guys what I got. First off, Demon Knights, number 9. Demon Knights has kind of been on the chopping block for me. It's kind of had a slow start off, but I've kind of stuck with it because I've really enjoyed the premise of it. And issue 8 was kind of, I was considering being my last issue, but I really enjoyed sort of the flashback with Madame Xanadu and the demon Etrigan, and sort of the way that played out. I thought it was just really well written. It was a really enjoyable read. So I decided to pick up issue 9, and not as good. We're starting to get a little bit more story, finally. We're really starting to pick up the pace, and things are definitely starting to happen now with the murder of Merlin, which happened at the end of issue 8. However, it just wasn't quite as fun, this particular issue. I usually laugh when I'm reading Demon Knights because there's a lot of sort of wry irony in it. This book, not so much. There were some good moments with Vandal Savage, which I enjoyed. The big downer with this book, though, really was the art. And I'm going to break into this one, too. Even though I probably shouldn't, since it just came out today. So if you don't want to see the interior of this, just hold off. But we do have multiple artists on this book, and Demon Knights has actually been pretty good about juggling those artists. This one, they didn't do a terrible job, but you can tell that the main artist was really getting rushed. This is pretty typical of what the art looks like. There's a lot of detail, a lot of stuff going on in the background, really nice sort of soft lines. And then, as you get further and further into the book here, you start getting into a lot of this. As you can see, there's a lot of backgrounds in which there's just sort of something photoshopped into the back, or it's just sort of like a two-tone kind of a background that doesn't really have any detail at all. And the further you get into it, the more it happens. I mean, there's not a single background on this entire page. Here we get a decent background in the sort of the big shots, but then in the little shots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 without any real background detail. So I mean, it felt a little bit rushed. And then I'm not gonna close it up so you don't see too much of it. And then at the end, the last 5 or 6 pages are by a completely different artist. His style definitely doesn't contrast with the main artist on Demon Knights, but I did kind of notice that they did have a backup artist on this one. So that was a little bit disappointing. So now the question is, do I keep going? I asked this question last month. I think I do want to kind of see there's an interesting cliffhanger with Etrigan. I feel like it's kind of a repeat beat because we just saw a particular character sort of turncoat on the rest of the team, and at the end of this issue we see a similar beat with a different character. So it was interesting. I'm more interested in what this person has up their sleeve rather than Vandal Savage, who was the last one. I was kind of annoyed that happened because I was really enjoying him and I wanted him on the team at the time, and I still do. Luckily he's back. But there's definitely sort of a more of a plot element to the person who turns against the team at the end of this issue. So I am curious to see what happens there. So I'll probably pick up the next issue, and we'll just kind of take it from there and see how it goes. I would like to try and finish out this Murder of Merlin storyline, and then at that point I think I'll really judge the book and kind of see if I'm going to keep it going or if I'm going to go ahead and let it drop off. Alright, next book I picked up was Green Lantern number 9, and this was another slightly disappointing book. Artwork in it was solid by Doug Monkey, as always. The problem with this story arc, and I had this problem before, is I feel like I'm one step ahead of where Jeff Johns is writing. So basically the big reveal, the 4-issue secret history of the Indigo Tribe really boiled down to the fact that Abin Sur is the creator of the Indigo Tribe, and I guess I wasn't surprised by that at all. And then the other thing that they kind of reveal is that the Indigo Tribe has been put together to take down the Guardians. That was kind of interesting. However, I mean, if the whole thing is, the Guardians are heartless, only think very logically and put no heart into anything, and the solution to getting them, to turning them around is turning them all into Indigo Lanterns, I think I'm going to be kind of annoyed with that. So hopefully Jeff Johns doesn't take it that route, because I just think that's a little derivative and really kind of kills what could be a really interesting and complicated dynamic between the Green Lanterns and the Guardians later on. So hopefully they don't do that. However, one interesting thing that did happen in this book is now Hal Jordan kind of knows where the Guardians are at and what kind of a threat they are to the galaxy at this point, because they are going to dismantle the Green Lantern Corps. And so we're getting closer to the big showdown between the Green Lanterns and the Guardians, and word's starting to get out, and I'm very interested to see where that goes. So Green Lantern, it's a book I'm always picking up. I'm probably always gonna pick it up, so no danger of getting canceled. I just am a little disappointed with this storyline. I just feel like it's been a little lackluster. Only one more issue of the secret history of the Indigo Tribe, and then we get on to the next thing, which will obviously build out of this arc. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Alright, penultimate issue that I picked up. Second favorite issue, only because I just, honestly, the two books at the top here are very, very close. I decided to give this one second billing just because I want to give the other one a little bit of extra attention, but they're about a tie, and that book was Batman number 9, part 2 of Night of the Owls in the Batman title, and this book was a very enjoyable read. There weren't really any surprises in the main story. I mean, it's exactly what you expect. Batman kicks some serious ass in this book, and it is excellent. Beautiful artwork from Greg Capullo. The thing that really stole the show for me on this book was actually the backup story, which is Fall of the House of Wayne, Part 1, and it follows, oh shoot, I can't think of his name, Alfred Pennyworth's father, in the Wayne Manor, in the midst of a situation with the Court of Owls. Really, really interesting. I really liked the voice of, I'll say Mr. Pennyworth, because can't think of his name for the life of me. Really, really interesting voice following the butler in the mansion. An interesting view of Thomas and Martha Wayne, and curious to see how that's going to play out. This is a 3-part backup story. Really, really excellent and definitely worthy of the extra buck in Batman. So go check it out. This book definitely gets my thumbs up. However, pick of the week this week was a new book that I was very excited and looking forward to. Overall, really solid book. I'm curious to see more and see how they develop it, and that is John Byrne's Trio. This is John Byrne's first sort of superhero team book in a while, and it's sort of a classic John Byrne style book. I mean, it's written and it's illustrated by him, so I guess that shouldn't be too much of a surprise. And it was really enjoyable. Basically, we are in a world in which we have 3 superheroes, and they are 1, 2, 3, and that's their names, just 1, 2, and 3. However, the tabloids have given them superhero names, and their superhero names are rock, paper, scissors. So that was kind of fun. And basically, in this issue, we sort of get a lot of I guess Hulk smashing or OMAC smashing from Rock. Some really great Rock just tearing the city apart. And there's in his big sort of no holds barred brawl at the beginning of the book, there's a lot of talk from the people in the background, like, is this really better than just letting the bad guy get away with it, or the police taking down the bad guy, because he just destroyed half the city here. Which is kind of a fun twist, kind of, an old concept, but welcome in this book, since this book definitely has some nostalgia value to it. And then we also get introduced to the next villain that'll definitely be popping up in issue number 2, and they are mermaids, but they are mermaids like you have not seen before. Very, very creepy bad guys, very weird, cool design on them. So I really enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to issue 2 to see how those develop. The mermaids in this book reminded me a lot of anyone who saw Cabin in the Woods, which is a recent sort of horror, almost a spoof horror, but a horror film, written by Joss Whedon. You'll know what I'm talking about with the mermaids in this book, because they're very similar. And by the way, if you haven't checked out Cabin in the Woods, check it out, because it's excellent. But anyway, similar design to the mermaids as in that, and sort of has a similar flavor to it. In Cabin in the Woods, there's this whole build-up of, like, I wish I could just see the mermaid, and then they see the mermaid, and it's just hideous, and it's got this, crazy music playing in the background. And in this book, everyone sees the mermaids, and it's like, I always would have wanted to see a mermaid, but this is just disgusting. So, anyway, definitely recommend Trio. It was a fun read, good issue 1. My only gripe about this book is that I would like to get a little bit more characterization going forward with rock, paper, scissors, and kind of differentiating them. You get a little bit into the background of Rock, which was kind of an interesting little tidbit, and I would just like to see more of that from the other characters, just to kind of help them sort of establish their own voices, which I look forward to seeing. I'm sure that'll happen as we get a little bit further into the series. Definitely a book that is enjoyable for nostalgia purposes. There aren't a whole lot of new ideas in this book, nothing too, mind-blowing. It's, John Byrne, his era of storytelling, told very well. So, if you like that, check out Trio, because it was a very enjoyable read. Alright, and that wraps up all the books that I picked up today, and all the books I picked up over the weekend. I do have a little quick haul for you. I went to Half Price Books today and found some really exciting stuff, actually. So, first of all, I will preface this with, I have been collecting Spawn books, but haven't been reading them because I wanted to read them in a big chunk. And I had issue 1, issue 2, and then I jumped forward a little bit, and then I have basically a straight run on almost until like issue 50 or something like that. But I hadn't been able to read any of them because I wanted to read them in order, and I was missing those in between books. And today I found all of those missing books. So today I was able to pick up Spawn issue 3, Spawn issue 4, and I have Spawn issue 5 already, and I was able to pick up Spawn issue 6. So I think I have a solid run, up until 17, and then I picked up Spawn issue 18, and then I have Spawn 19 through at least 30 something. So I am excited because I finally get to dig into Spawn and I can read more than just the first 2 issues. So I'm really excited about that. Really excited to pick up these Spawn books. I also picked up an old Green Lantern title. This is part of the this is from 2 volumes ago now. This is basically part of the volume in which we saw mostly Kyle Rayner after issue 50 or so, and this is issue 53. I didn't have it, so I picked it up, so kind of cool. And then I took a chance on some older books. I really enjoy Keith Giffen as a writer, and I don't have any of these books yet, so I just picked up a chunk of them because they had sort of a run at half-price books, and they were all in pretty good condition. And so I figured I'd just give something different a shot. I'm actually not particularly enjoying the new incarnation of this series, but I like Keith Giffen, so hopefully this series will be pretty fun. And that is Justice League International. I picked up issue number 12, issue number 13, issue number 14. One thing that has me a little leery is I'm not really a Booster Gold fan. However, I do like the older Booster Gold more than the new one. And I did like the sort of, how do I put it? The sort of relationship between the Blue Beetle, who I do love a lot, and, oh boy, I just lost train. Booster Gold. And Booster Gold. Sort of their sort of second tier status and how they kind of related to each other. I like that aspect, so I'm kind of curious to see how that plays into this older series, how much of that is there. It seems like a very Keith Giffen idea, so I'm excited to read. Anyway, issue number 15, issue number 16, issue number 17, and finally I picked up issue number 18. And all of these books that I picked up were 75 cents a piece, with the exception of, I think the Spawn ones were $1 a piece. So fantastic, very cheap haul from Half Price Books as always. All the books are in really excellent condition. Sometimes they'll have some spine damage, but these ones were in really good shape. So all in all, very successful run to Half Price Books. I'm really excited to read those. And so with that, that concludes my Minutia Minute for my Wednesday comic book haul for May 9th. I'm excited to see what you guys picked up. Was it a lackluster week for you guys too? I don't know. I'm curious to see. So let's check it out. I'm really excited for next week, I do have to say. There's a lot of books coming out that I'm excited for. We've got Saga number 3, The Shadow number 2, Batwoman number 9, Danger Club number 2, Daredevil number 13, Justice League number 9, Nightwing number 9, probably more than that. So anyway, I'm excited for all those books, so look forward to those next week, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.